Hi, today I'll be introducing a small movement called天王托塔. It's a classic movement from Bajiquan. And the reason I want to start with this is that oftentimes I have people coming to ask me, I want to learn something simple and quick to understand, especially for someone with a larger size of opponent, which makes sense because if you are a smaller size person, like for example, if you're a woman on the street, you don't have a lot of natural strength. Practicing Kung Fu has a shortcut to teach you how to correctly use your body energy to get you out of the dangerous situation. And one of the Baji movement,天王托塔, the one that we're doing today, clearly demonstrates that it's possible to do that. The movement is rather simple to start with. So the first thing is you want to learn how to twist your body, which is pretty much natural for everyone to learn how to do that. And for the sake of this video, let's assume our opponents are coming from the right side of your body, which, by the way, all movements are reversible. So always remember that. Whatever you practice in Kung Fu, if I teach you something on the right, if you punch on your right, you can also do the same thing on the left. So everything is reversible. Remember that. So to start this movement, we want to turn our body. While you turn your waist, the first thing you do is you want to open up your palm. It's called tanzang. And as I was mentioning, when you do tanzang, make sure your elbow is aligned with the center of your body. So to switch angle, you will see this movement. But make sure your whole right arm are twisting while you fix your elbow. By doing this, make sure you do with the same speed, your left hand will reach out. But don't reach completely out. You will lose your strength. If you're being pulled at this moment, you lose your body, your center of gravity. So always sink your elbow, always relax your shoulder, and always have a little bit of tension at the end of your palm. So this is called 问掌, which roughly translated into asking palm. Metaphorically, it means to ask for direction. So it's kind of like, what are you doing, man? Stay away from me. So this is a space-creating posture. If you do notice, while you turn, you reach out your right leg. This is called empty space, an empty stand, which means there is no weight carried on the bottom of your foot. It's also to create a space, but the reason to keep it flexible is that, remember this one thing. All empty stands in Kung Fu represent a kick, a strike, or a lower block. So an empty stance means you're ready for your lower attack. And the 问掌 means you're creating the space in between. So this will be part 2. To carry on to the part 3, I have to explain a little bit of how you recreate this space. This part is called 手去身流, which means we move our hand, but we leave our body behind. But to thrust out, we want to do reverse, 身去手流, which means we move our body while we fix our hand and leg position. The reason is that we are imagining, which later on I'll do a demonstration, that you're touching your opponent. You don't want to give him any space to come towards you, so you're coming towards him or her. At the same time, you squeeze your body and thrust out. So that's the finish movement. The finish movement is an upper strike, which usually goes to the chin, which, by the way, is one of the weakest point to be attacked with. So if there's a big guy, a giant guy standing in front of you, you don't have much training with your fist or with your arm or with your leg, the easiest thing you do is to do an upper thrust right with your palm to his or her chin. If someone is not professionally trained, this will create a head shock, giving you a chance to escape from your dangerous situation or recreate a better situation for yourself. And of course, this is one of the power. And you probably noticed that while I do the upper thrust, there's also a stump. And the stump is for you to practice how to generate power from the ground all the way to top, which is the basic fundamental of all Kung Fu or martial arts. Always borrow your energy from the ground. So if I'm only doing a thrust, I'm creating this from my muscle movement, which might or might not be enough. But if you do this, you're always telling yourself that there's energy coming from the ground. I have to do my footwork. Footwork is also very important, but this is not the application. Whenever you need to use it, this will be good because my legs are used to directing the energy from the ground, and having this whole body structure helps you to create a power that you never knew you had. And there's also a hidden application I will do in the next video. Okay, so continue on our Baji Tota movement. I've asked one of my Kung Fu brother, Kai Yi, to demonstrate with me the application and the hidden movement of天王托塔. Okay, so let's assume he's giving me an attack with his right hand, a straight punch to begin with. This is Tanzang, which we talked about. The elbow should be fixing at the center of your gravity, guarding myself from the important part of my organ. But a lot of people would do an open, especially beginners. They like to open their space. So if doing Tanzang, I open my space, he can easily come and thrust at me, either with the elbow or with his shoulder. So either way, that's gonna cause some damage to me and cause my balance. So to do Tanzang, make sure this is in the center of gravity. And you remember I was talking about the turning position? The twisting is creating my sense of touching with his arm and making sure I know his direction. So if he's throwing a straight punch, I'm redirecting him away from me. And Wenzang, see, a natural position would be I'm trying to touch his face, then he will try to block it. So I am connecting my body with him. So the next movement will be this, which I'm using his upper arm to block his lower arm, then leaving this hand free. And remember I talked about this? This is my asking foot, which means empty stance. So I could possibly do a kick, but if I do choose with my opponent strike, this will be a simple attack. So with a non-professional, let's do it again. With a non-professional, if I do this, 1, 2, he's already following my trap. While blocking his both hands, all I have to do is thrust up with the chin. So that would be step 1. However, if he's somewhat trained professionalism, or he knew a little bit of body self-defense, which I hope you don't have to run into the situation with a bad guy, obviously. If I do this, and let's see, he knows I'm coming from this. So he's tucked in his shirt. So I can't do this. So what I want to do next is I want to break his balance from this. So a moving foot is very important for the inner part of your kneecap to go like this. And notice my footwork. This is also a lock. So to break his ground, making sure his body is twisted, now do a thrust. So that'll be step 2 for a medium level. So I'll do it again one more time. So 1, 2, block, but now I notice he's strong enough to take my thrust. So I want to do is break this first, then do this. So that's for medium practice. Okay, now moving on to the advanced part. Exact same movement, same idea, but what if this guy knows what I'm about to do because he's an advanced practitioner or martial arts expert himself? For example, I already guard my center of gravity and I already redirect his punch. He already fall into my trap, but he knows what I'm about to do this. So as I move in my leg, he knows to get away. So I missed, or I somehow didn't break his ground balance, which means I'll miss this too, or this won't work. But see, remember, I'm still guarding his arm. The hidden movement of 天王托塔 is this, the last elbow strike. Now notice, elbow itself does not do that much damage. It's my footwork. My footwork has to break his balance again while doing the palm strike. So one more time. 1, 2. As I move forward, I missed and I missed. But what I'm about to do is sit on him and do the elbow strike at the same time. So that's why the finishing move has a little bit of elbow drop. The elbow drop is the hidden attack for the final finishing attack. So that's the 3-step of 八级天王托塔。OK， 谢谢。好，天王托塔。